Think an oil change is simple? Drain the old oil, pour in fresh oil, done, right? Wrong. Many serious engine problems start right after an oil change. One tiny mistake, one skipped check, and your engine starts wearing down silently. No smoke, no warning light, just hidden damage with every mile. Stick around, because we're counting down 11 mistakes drivers make, plus a bonus tip at the end that even pros often miss. Mistake number 11. Forgetting to reset the oil life system. This mistake doesn't damage your engine immediately, but it sets you up for serious problems later. After an oil change, many drivers forget one critical step, resetting the oil life monitoring system. So even though the oil is fresh, the vehicle still thinks it's old and worn out. That creates a dangerous habit. The warning light comes on early. Drivers assume it's a glitch. They ignore it. Then, months later, when the oil actually is worn out, the warning comes on again. And this time, it gets ignored too. On many modern vehicles, oil service data is also stored inside the vehicle's computer. That information can be read during diagnostics, warranty claims, or resale inspections. Repeatedly failing to reset the system can make it look like oil changes were skipped, even when they weren't. The fix is simple but important. After every oil change, reset the oil life system using the correct procedure for your vehicle. Some cars require a specific button sequence. Others use the infotainment menu. Take the extra 30 seconds to do it right. It keeps your service reminders accurate, protects your maintenance records, and helps ensure your engine always gets fresh oil at the right time. Mistake number 10. Reusing the old drain plug washer. This is one of the most underestimated oil change mistakes, and one of the most common. Many drain plugs use a crush washer or sealing washer to prevent leaks. It works by deforming slightly when tightened, creating a perfect seal between the plug and the oil pan. The problem is, it's designed to do that once. When you reuse an old washer, it's already flattened and hardened. It may feel tight when you reinstall the plug, but it no longer seals the way it should. That's how slow leaks begin. At first, it's just a damp spot on the drain plug, then a stain on the driveway. Over time, oil loss adds up, and oil pressure drops without warning. Some leaks only appear when the engine heats up and the metal expands. That's why reused washers often fail days or even weeks after an oil change. The fix costs almost nothing. Replace the washer at every oil change, or install a new drain plug if it uses a built-in seal. This tiny part plays a massive role. Ignoring it can quietly undo an otherwise perfect oil change. Mistake number 9. The double gasket problem. When it comes to oil changes, tiny oversights can cause massive damage, and one of the easiest mistakes to miss is the double gasket issue. Here's how it happens. You remove the old oil filter, but the rubber sealing ring stays stuck to the engine block. You don't notice it. Then you install the new filter. Now there are two gaskets stacked together. Instead of sealing, they fail. At first, you might only see a few drops of oil under the car. Then it turns into a steady leak. Keep driving and oil pressure drops fast. In extreme cases, the engine can run dangerously low on oil in minutes. The fix is simple. After removing the old filter, always inspect the mounting surface. Run your finger around it and confirm the old gasket is completely gone. It takes seconds, but skipping it can cost thousands. And unfortunately, that's not the only oil change mistake people overlook. Mistake number 8. Draining oil when it's too cold. Another common mistake is draining the oil while the engine is completely cold. It sounds harmless, but over time, it reduces how effective your oil changes really are. Cold oil is thick and slow. Instead of flowing out, it sticks to internal engine surfaces. So when you pull the drain plug on a cold engine, a noticeable amount of dirty oil stays behind, ready to mix with the fresh oil you just added. That means your new oil isn't actually clean. The better method is simple. Start the engine and let it idle for about 3 to 5 minutes. You're not trying to heat it up fully, just warm the oil enough so it flows freely. Warm oil drains faster, carries contaminants with it, and leaves your engine cleaner overall. Skipping this step might save time, but it also means your engine never truly gets a fresh start. And the next mistake is even more damaging. Mistake number 7. Overfilling the engine with oil. This is one of the fastest ways to damage an engine, adding too much oil. A lot of people assume more oil means more protection. In reality, overfilling can be just as dangerous as running low. When oil levels are too high, the crankshaft churns through the excess oil. That action whips air into it, turning it foamy. Foamy oil can't lubricate properly. Even though the dipstick reads full, critical engine parts may not be getting the protection they need. Over time, pressure builds, seals fail, and leaks begin to appear, all because of one extra pour. The safe method is simple. Add oil gradually and check the dipstick as you go. Keep the level between the minimum and maximum marks, never above. And here's a pro tip many people miss. Always check oil level on level ground. Even a slight slope can give you a false reading. Engines rely on precision. Too little oil can destroy them, but too much can do it even faster. Now let's move on to the next mistake, one that catches drivers right after they think the job is finished. Mistake number 6. Skipping the final oil check. After an oil change, most people assume the job is finished. But skipping one final check can undo everything you just did. Once the oil is drained, refilled, and sealed, you should start the engine and let it idle for about 30 to 60 seconds. Then shut it off, wait a minute, and check the oil level again. Here's why this matters. When the engine runs, oil fills the new filter and circulates through internal passages. That causes the oil level to drop slightly compared to the first reading. If you never recheck it, you may be driving with less oil than the engine actually needs. This step also helps catch leaks early when they're easiest to fix. A loose drain plug, a damaged gasket, or a sealing issue usually shows up right after the first startup. It takes less than 2 minutes, but skipping it can cost you an engine and a very uncomfortable call for a tow. And if you think that mistake is easy to avoid, the next one surprises a lot of people. Mistake number 5. The dry filter myth. You've probably heard this advice before. Always pre-fill your oil filter. But here's the truth most videos don't explain properly. On most modern engines, starting the car with an empty oil filter does not cause damage. Oil pressure builds within seconds, and engines are designed to handle that brief moment safely. However, there is a real issue people overlook. If the filter gasket isn't prepared correctly, or if oil pressure is delayed due to other mistakes, wear can increase over time. That's why many experienced mechanics do one simple thing. Before installing the filter, they lightly oil the gasket, and if the filter is mounted vertically, add a small amount of oil inside. Not to fill it completely, just enough to reduce air pockets and help pressure stabilize faster. It's not mandatory, but it's a smart habit, especially on high-mileage engines. And that leads directly to the next mistake, one that causes leaks almost immediately. Mistake number 4. Installing the filter gasket dry. This looks minor, but it's one of the most common causes of oil leaks after an oil change. The rubber gasket on your oil filter is the only thing sealing pressurized oil inside the engine. And rubber does not seal properly when it's dry. Installing the filter without lubricating the gasket can cause it to grab, twist, or pinch as you tighten it. That damage isn't always visible right away, but once the engine heats up and oil pressure rises, leaks begin to appear. The fix is incredibly simple. Before installing the filter, dip your finger in clean oil and wipe a thin film around the gasket. That helps the seal seat evenly, prevents tearing, and makes the filter easier to remove next time. For extra safety, always wipe the mounting surface on the engine clean. Even a small piece of dirt can compromise the seal and cause a slow leak later. And if you think filter installation is where most people mess up, wait until you hear what happens when they tighten the wrong component. Mistake number 3. Over-tightening the drain plug. This mistake causes more damage than most people realize. A lot of drivers think tighter means safer. They grab a wrench, crank down hard on the drain plug, and assume the job is done right. But that's how oil pans get ruined. The drain plug doesn't seal because it's tight. It seals because of the washer or gasket on the bolt. When you over-tighten it, you stretch threads, strip aluminum pans, or even snap the bolt entirely. And once that happens, a simple oil change turns into a costly repair. The smart approach is precision, not force. Most drain plugs only need about 20 to 30 foot-pounds of torque, far less than most people expect. If you don't have a torque wrench, remember this rule. Tighten until it's seated, then give it a small additional turn. That's it. If you've over-tightened in the past, watch for slow leaks. Damaged threads can fail suddenly, and ignoring them often leads to roadside problems. And if tightening too much is bad, the next mistake is even worse: choosing the wrong oil entirely. Mistake number 2, using the wrong engine oil. A lot of people believe oil is oil. That assumption has destroyed countless engines. Every engine is designed for a specific oil grade, like 5W30 or 0W20. Use oil that's too thick and the engine struggles to lubricate properly, especially during cold starts. Use oil that's too thin and it may not protect under high heat and load. Modern engines make this even more critical. Tight tolerances, turbochargers, and variable valve timing systems depend on very specific oil properties. Using the wrong oil can reduce performance, increase wear, and in some cases even void your warranty. The solution is simple. Check your owner's manual. It tells you the exact oil grade and type your engine was engineered to use. And one more warning many people ignore. Buy oil from trusted retailers. Counterfeit motor oil is real and increasingly common online. If the price looks too good to be true, it probably is. Saving a few dollars today can cost you an engine tomorrow. But even with the correct oil, the next mistake ignores the car's own warning system, and that's when engines suffer the most. Mistake number 1: ignoring oil warnings and reminders. The biggest mistake drivers make after an oil change is ignoring oil warnings on the dashboard. Modern vehicles don't guess when oil needs attention. They monitor engine temperature, load, and driving conditions to estimate oil life accurately. When that warning appears, it's not a suggestion, it's a reminder based on real operating data. Ignoring it is like ignoring a smoke alarm because nothing's burning yet. Over time, degraded oil turns into sludge, lubrication breaks down, and internal wear accelerates. On many newer vehicles, skipped oil service reminders are also stored in the vehicle's computer. That history can show up during diagnostics and reduce resale value later on. The fix is simple. Change the oil when required and reset the oil life system properly. Don't delay it. Don't override it. When the system says it's time, because your dashboard isn't trying to annoy you, it's trying to protect your engine. Bonus tip: don't drive off immediately after an oil change. This is a step most people completely skip, but it can make a huge difference in engine longevity. After changing the oil, many drivers think they're done. They start the car, throw it into gear, and drive off. That's when hidden damage can begin, even with brand new oil. Here's why. When you pour fresh oil into the engine, it hasn't reached all the critical components yet. The oil filter is still empty, and oil hasn't circulated through the passages around bearings, camshafts, pistons, and the crankshaft. The moment you turn the key, the engine starts spinning metal parts that are still running dry. Even though this only lasts a few seconds, it's the most vulnerable moment for your engine. Letting the engine idle for 30 to 60 seconds gives the oil time to fill the new filter completely, reach every internal passage, stabilize oil pressure. You don't need to rev it. You don't need to accelerate. Just let the engine run smoothly at idle. This simple pause ensures that every moving part is coated with fresh oil before the engine faces real driving loads. It's a tiny habit, but over hundreds of oil changes, it prevents dry start wear, reduces friction, and protects your engine's internal parts. Think of it as giving your engine a few seconds to wake up properly before working hard. It's quick, easy, and the difference it makes can last years. And there you have it, 9 oil change mistakes that can silently destroy an engine if you're not careful. Which one have you seen people make the most? Share it in the comments. Your experience might save someone else's engine. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.